Hey guys, it's Mr. Robinson. I just kind of wanted to go into point slope form just a little bit more with you real quick. And today we're going to be talking about how do you write equations using the point slope form. And again, that point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay? And basically, to take a point on a line, and if you know the slope, to do it, all you need to do is identify your x and y coordinates, identify your slope, plug them into the equation, and then we're just simplifying from there on out. So let's take a look at what that kind of looks like when we're doing it in practice. Let's say we have this coordinate, 2, 7, and we know my slope is -4. So if I want to put that in point slope form, the first thing I need to do is do my coordinates. So that's my x coordinate, this is my y coordinate, and this is my slope because it's the m. Okay? So now I'm just going to plug that into my equation. I'm going to go y minus my y1, which is 7, this guy, equals my m, which is my slope, which is -4 in this case, okay, and my x minus my x coordinate, which is 2. Now, just like yesterday when we were practicing these, all I need to do now is distribute and simplify. So I'm going to distribute. I'm left with y minus 7 equals -4x plus 8. Now I'm going to simplify. I need to isolate my y. So since I'm subtracting 7, I'm going to add 7 to isolate it. And when it's all said and done, I'm left with y is equal to -4x plus 8 plus 7 is 15. Now I'm into slope-intercept form, and I am done with that equation. So now that you've seen this one work through, I'm going to give you a second to do one on your own. Make sure you put it in your first box on your practice or in your Station 3 workbook. Okay, let's take a look at another example of how to do this. Again, we have a coordinate and we have a slope. So my coordinates, that's my x coordinate, that's my y coordinate. I'm going to sub those, sub 1s, because that's the only coordinate I have. And this is my slope. So again, I'm just going to plug everything into my equation. My y sub 1 is 5 equals my slope, which is -3, and my x minus my x sub 1, which is 12. Now that I've identified everything and put it into my equation, I just have to simplify. To simplify, I'm going to distribute, and then I'm going to isolate. So that'd be -3x. -3 times -12 is a positive 36. And this is going to stay as y minus 5. Okay, so I've distributed, so now I'm going to isolate my y. To isolate it, since I'm subtracting 5, I need to add 5 because that's 0, which leaves y all alone on that side, and I'm left with -3x, that's 36, plus 41. That's in slope-intercept form, so in this case my slope would be -3, and my y-intercept would be 41. Okay, and I have everything from point slope form down to slope intercept. Now I'm going to give you time to do do another one on your own real quick. Again, put this in the second box of your Station 3 worksheet. Okay, again, we're looking at point slope form some more. So again, we have 4 and -5, and then we have our slope is 6. So this is my x sub 1, that would be my y sub 1. This would be my slope. Now that I've identified that, I'm going to put it into my equation. Y minus -5 equals 6 times x minus 4. Okay? Now when I have a minus and negative, that's the same as saying y plus 5 equals, I'm going to distribute in 6x minus 24. Now that I've put everything in and I've distributed, I need to isolate my y. I'm going to -5 because that's the opposite of +5 from both sides. And I'm left with y equals 6x minus 29. Okay? Now I'm going to give you time to do one more example. Be sure you do it in the third problem box on worksheet number 3 for me. Sometimes we're not given all the information that you need to solve the problem. So here we're just given 2 coordinates. So the first thing I'm going to do is label out my coordinates just because. So I'm going to call this x1, I'm going to call this y1. I'm going to call this one x2, and I'm going to call this guy y2. Those subsets literally are just talking about which coordinate set you're using with. So we're knowing this is my x1, y1, this is x2, y2. Now I'm going to find the slope, because that's the only thing I really don't know, and I'm going to use my xy chart method to do that. So I'm going to have 4 7's my first set of coordinates, 5 1's my second. To get from 7 to 1, that's a -6, and to get from 4 to 5, that's a +1. And we know that slope is always change in y over my change in x, so I am -6 over +1. So now I have my slope. I have a set of coordinates to work with, so I can put it into point slope form and solve. So my coordinate I'm going to use that set because it's easy. I'm going to go y minus my y1 is equal to my slope, which is -6, times x minus my x1, which is 4 in this case. Now that I got it into point slope form, I'm going to distribute, and then I'm going to isolate. So I'm distributing first, and I'm left with y minus 7 equals -6x. A negative and a negative is a +24. Okay? My -7's here, so to get rid of my -7, I take its opposite, which is +7, and I'm left with y is equal to -6x plus 31. Okay? And I'd be done. So now I'm going to give you a chance to do 2 problems on your own where you just have coordinates, and you're going to have to find the slope, put it into point slope form, then simplify it into slope intercept form. You guys are going to do great. Make sure you do those last 2 problems in boxes 4 and 5 on your worksheet. Thank you and good luck.